shit. Who joined? Oh, Sejin. Hello.
To fulfill the prophecy.
Which, uh-oh. What is the prophecy?
The one that is top of the subreddit right now.
Oh, what's on my subreddit right now? Hold on. Oh, Destiny's next conversation summarized. Oh, were you telling me to be nicer on Twitter?
Yeah.
Oh, that girl is a fucking idiot. I'm sorry. I think it's important to be able to
And
call
we
it out.
simultaneously agree that her being an idiot and you having to respond in a somewhat inflammatory way can, like, they don't have to go hand in hand.
Hmm. They don't have to, but I think it's okay to be inflammatory here. This person was exceptionally fucking stupid, and they replied to me in a snarky manner. I think it's okay to be a little bit.
To be to be clear, she subtweeted you. She didn't actually at you, right?
That's even worse.
Okay. I think we just talked about setting yourself up for success. And I think replying to people that you consider to be idiots, when they say something stupid, is setting yourself up for failure.
I disagree. I don't think. I think in this circumstance, I think it's pretty clear that she was a dumb fuck. I think it's pretty important to be able to say that. I think that her message was insane. Like her twit longer, like everything she was saying. It was basically like 4 paragraphs of like, this guy's been weird, this guy's treated me horribly, this guy's tried to push me to sex, I'm not comfortable with this guy. And then it was like, then I went up to his room and I told him I didn't, and then it would blah blah, and it's like, this is like the dumbest. It's just like one of the dumbest things I've read in my entire life. I think it's okay to be able to call that out.
You did call it out though on stream already, right?
Yeah, but then she subtweeted me like a dumb fuck.
Is it really worth like trying to like
What is it worth? What am
because
I losing?
well when it's extending the all right, you laid out everything on stream, right? And there was a nice central argument with all of your opinions in one place, right?
A little bit, but not as much. I didn't really go that hard on her. I think I
It
said,
wasn't yeah, it wasn't super deep,
yeah, I
right?
think I said at the one.
She
I think I was like,
obviously
she was kind of dumb, probably here, and then Rich is probably like a rapist or whatever. I think that's what I said at the end. But then if she took
yeah.
issue with that and she was like, oh, well, apparently I'm an idiot, blah, 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 and then she starts spouting off some crazy, like, misandrous shit, well, now I am going to go hard on you. And I'm going to show you, and I'm going to explain to everybody why you're a fucking retard. Like, I will at that point. If she can't shut the fuck up, of course.
If you're holding yourself to a higher standard, shouldn't you resist that urge to call her out?
No, I think it's an important
Like
conversation now. I think it's important to say. It's not just me, like, randomly shitting on her. It's like, bro, like,
you already said pretty much everything
no,
you
I
said in
didn't.
your
I didn't. I didn't.
thread.
I didn't go in on her at all. I didn't go
Oh,
in on her story at all. We
let
can
me
go
pull it
through.
up
Yeah, we
again.
can go over the thread. Okay. I think I called her dumb one time at the very end. And so she's tweeting, but now that thread blew up on LSF. And so she tweets, so apparently I'm an idiot for not knowing the person I knew for several years was a literal rapist and for not assuming he would force himself on me. I mean, I'll take the advice and just start assuming every man is a rapist, but I thought y'all hated when we do that. So this is like the most virtue signaling cuck fucking tweet ever. And I didn't even go that hard on her story. But if she's going to tweet shit like that, well then okay, let's go through and we'll break down what she said. So number one,
Hold on. I wanna
go.
ask you questions about what you think about that tweet real quick.
Yeah.
Okay. So where do you think she's coming from when she's tweeting that?
She's probably mad that my clip blew up on LSF and she feels like I called her dumb.
Yeah. Do you think that she watched the whole stream?
Probably not.
Wouldn't a more appropriate and calculated response be like, "Hey, I see that you think that," or sorry, let me rephrase this. I see that you saw the clip of me calling you an idiot. I'm curious if you watched the whole stream because even though I call you an idiot, I vehemently was it this what's the word I'm looking for? It's like basically you're saying like everything Rich did was like super fucked up, right? Obviously, we all know that, right?
Okay.
And that was the main point of what you said on the stream.
Mm-hmm.
And then you pointed out that she did some idiotic actions, right? But what she's hearing is, hey, I did Destiny's saying that I did some idiotic things, right? and that's where she's coming from in this tweet, right?
Okay.
So wouldn't it be better to try to like and unironically said earlier, just reach out and be like, hey, I know that I called you an idiot in this, but that's I'm not saying that Rich did anything
If she reached out to me
for
privately,
it.
then I probably would. But she tried to like let me out publicly over it. So no, now we're gonna explain exactly why she's a dumb
He
fuck.
subtweeted you without even like saying your name, man.
Who
Like
everybody knows
that's
who
just
she's talking about though. Like, what do you? Of course, I'm gonna say something
isn't it okay to let people vent on Twitter when they're acting emotionally?
by
Can't we
calling
just
me
let that
out.
go?
No, no, no. Why would I? Why would I let her say absolutely stupid fucking shit on Twitter that is
Because you
contradicting to?
understand that she's
No, no, not at my
what
expense.
you
Not at
already
my
called her
expense. No,
stupid,
I'm not
right?
gonna sit there and be a punching bag for an actual 75 IQ dipshit. Why the fuck would I do that?
Because you're because like how many people do you think are gonna look at the thread of tweets and think of it fondly of you versus adversely of you?
How many? I don't know. I think I make a pretty compelling argument. I'm okay with some people not liking me on some things, like on racial issues or like on sexist issues. Like there might be some things that I can come off a little bit harshly on. I'm okay with like my goal for PR. Like I guess my goal is to just like I don't want people to think I think something that's like way outside of fucking left field, like way away from my beliefs. But my goal isn't like I want everybody to like me and think I'm a nice and happy person to everybody. That's not my goal.
You don't have to do that.
Okay.
I'm
Well,
not
I
saying
think
you
that
have to
like
do that.
ordinarily, because what I was going to do is I was going to quote tweet. I was going to say when I was going to quote tweet her, I was initially just going to add my last tweet. I was going to say like, at the end of the day, Rich may meant to be a rapist, but you're definitely a fucking idiot. That was good. That was my original tweet. And then I was like, okay, no, you know what? We'll qualify more. And then I wrote everything above to explain like these are every single thing, every single action and step you took. You knew you were being dumb the whole fucking time. Don't act like everybody's telling you like, oh, ignore all men or blah 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 blah. Like you had all the information was available to you to not make these horrible fucking choices. Why are you pretending now like it was beyond you or you were incapable of doing so? So I added everything after, but initially it was just gonna be a really mean initial tweet. But I think
Okay.
I think
this
my argument, everything I lay out, I think is like pretty solid. Like I don't think anybody will read this and be like, oh my god, he's just like victim. Or some people will, but like I mean, those people are beyond. But I think most people will read this and be like, okay, yeah, like she was obviously pretty stupid here.
okay. I don't think I can convince you on other stuff, but I think we can argue about this last tweet because you knew it was a bad tweet when you wrote it, and then you
I
justified it,
didn't say
right?
it was a bad tweet. I just knew that it would be like a rough, that'd be like a mean tweet.
If someone saw this tweet in isolation, like someone posted in isolation this tweet on like LSF, what do you think their impression of your coverage would be?
I don't know, but it's at the bottom of an entire tweet thread. I don't think I can weave every single conversation so that like every tweet or every 10 seconds is gonna like fully encapsulate everything I say. I don't know if that's possible.
Well, when this shows up on the Twitter feed, right, it shows the first two tweets and then that last tweet.
Okay, and there's a whole Twitter thread in the thing.
People don't read full Twitter threads. Like if someone
They're gonna
hates you,
go
they're
and
gonna
read.
see
They're
that
gonna read. They're
last.
gonna go to the very last one and read that one. Isn't it historically? Don't tweets get the most engagement on tweet number one? Isn't that generally how it goes?
Let's look.
I don't know what it's like
So
on
that
mine
one,
because my
your
last
last
one.
tweet has the most engagement.
Okay,
It
probably
looks
because
like.
it was really spicy. But even at that, it's barely more than the first one. It's got 70 more likes than the
Um,
first one.
what is that first number? I don't know what the views. Okay,
732.
your last tweet has twice as many views as the first tweet.
Wait, am I crazy?
It says 54K, right?
Yeah,
For the last
the
tweet.
very first tweet of mine has 97,000 views. My first one has four times. Oh no, two times as many as the first one.
It's
Unless I'm reading this wrong, it looks like my first tweet
oh,
has.
I was looking at your second tweet. My bad.
Mhm.
But again, first tweet is okay, but last tweet still 54,000 views compared to the rest of the thread.
I stand by what I said. I think my line of reasoning was compelling. I think it was fine. I could have been meaner.
You can always be meaner, right? But that's not what you're trying to do, right? You're trying to be more
I don't want to
was the word.
contribute to the culture of like the progressive rot culture where you have to tiptoe around like every issue. Like I'm gonna be like more forceful on, and this is gonna change too. Like I'm gonna be more forceful on things related to minorities. Or I'll be more forceful on things related to like women. Like I think that being somewhat forceful, I don't want to contribute to the community of like setting the expectation that you have to tiptoe around all of these issues forever and ever and ever and ever and ever because somebody's feelings are gonna get hurt. I think that's a little silly. I don't want to be a part of that anymore.
I don't think this is tiptoeing, right? I mean, come on. Let's
Okay,
you
let's read through everything, okay? And we'll see if it's justified, okay? She said, so
okay.
apparently I'm an idiot for not knowing the person I knew for several years was a little rapist and for not assuming he would force himself on me. I mean, I'll take the advice and just start assuming every man is a rapist, but I thought y'all hated when we do that. Her argument here is that like there's no possible way I could have known that he was going to be a rapist. Like I just have to assume every guy is a rapist. That's what her argument here is, okay? But it's absurd. So I say, ... but you already didn't trust him. Hence, and here's the message. He said, would you want to come chill here? And she said, it's okay. I don't think that's something I'm comfortable with. Why would you ever send this as a personal message to someone unless you didn't trust them? It has nothing to do with every man. You knew this particular one was a fuckboy. And then he sends this message, I'll wait up, send me a pic, it'll help me stay up. LMAO. Rich, seriously? What kind of a pic is he asking for here? The question is rhetorical because your laughing response shows you already knew what kind of pic he wanted. You already knew what he wants, and you already said you weren't comfortable going over to his place. And then you say, I'm dropping someone off at the village. I think I'll be there at 12:40 a.m. Okay. Is that okay, or should I just stay in Manhattan? Come over. You're going over to his place at 12:40 a.m. to a person who you said you didn't feel comfortable being alone with. And then she says in her thing, without going into extensive detail, because that would be required to explain it, there were several times during the 4 years that Rich made it clear that he only viewed me as a sexual object, but then I would confront him about it and I would get love-bombed and gaslit into thinking that he cared about me and wanted to be with me. And then I say, why are you lying and implying he was a nice person that you knew for several years when you also said he literally treated you like a sex object? Something else she posts is, he would prove to me that he was working on being a better person than he wanted to be in my life. Then in October, he began his typical antics and begged me to come to Texas around his subathon. I said no because I did not think it was appropriate to stay with him because I did not want to sleep with him and I did not trust him. You said you gave him multiple chances to be a better person and it failed. You said again in your tweet longer that you did not trust him. Then she says, he said that we couldn't stay in that room and needed to go up to his apartment per the apartment rules. I said I don't trust him, and he promised me that that was a situation, that nothing would happen, and was respecting the boundary I set. We get upstairs, and he starts talking about how hot it would be for me to get pregnant, then he proceeds to jerk off. Then I say, seriously? Why the fuck would you go into his room with him after not trusting him for almost half a decade? Then she gives her account of like the rape part apparently, and I said, leaving out a lot of important details here, but I don't necessarily doubt this happened. And then my last message is, at the end of the day, Rich may or may not be a rapist, but you are definitely a fucking idiot. I'd stand by everything I say 1,000,000%. And I think I go through decent explanation, quoting all of her text messages, quoting all of her things, and like up to here. Like the only possible argument you can have is that like, Destiny, you're being mean. Like you need to treat all rape victims with like the most kid gloves possible. But I think I lay out everything like pretty decently here for why I said what I said and how I stand by what I'm saying by.
Okay. I'm gonna say this again, and I'm
Go for it.
I really want you to be good faith here. What state of mind do you think she tweeted that?
She's probably getting like a whole bunch of fucking queening shit. And whenever women talk about literally anything having to do with like sexual assault or rape, they expect to get like ubiquitous support and encouragement. And they're like on some social fucking crusade on the internet to prove like how evil like all rapist men are, blah, 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 blah. So if she sees anything in opposition to that, her mind is probably like, wow, this guy's a rape defender. And you know, you could do no wrong if you're a victim of anything ever. So she's probably tweeting with like that kind of like crusade in mind is what's going on.
Do you think that she is having I'm not saying like it's equal to the support she's getting, but do you think that there's a significant portion of harassment that she's getting from like rich defenders?
Possibly, yeah. It wouldn't surprise me. I would expect it to be the case, yeah.
And we know that people always see the negative more strongly than the positive, correctly, right?
Okay.
Right. So she's probably sees this clip, right? And in combination with the harassment, is making this tweet.
Wait. Hold on. Okay, sorry. There's literally somebody in my ceiling, I guess. Okay, sorry, go.
So she is being harassed, whether she has support or not through it is more or less like I don't know how relevant it is. Um, and then she sees a clip of you calling her an idiot, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she goes to Twitter to vent, right? Do we agree with this like
Yeah,
potential
probably. Sure.
sequence of events,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then you respond with this thread. And I think it's okay to point out all the idiotic things she does, even in a thread directed to her. I think that's okay. But I think it hurts more than it helps to include the last tweet. Because now, as soon as she reads that, or as soon as a lot of people read that, they're not thinking, oh, hey, this is a guy that thinks Rich is probably a rapist. This is a guy that thinks that she basically ran into a rape machine.
I mean, I think the point of my tweet thread is that she kind of did.
Is that
She
the
had like
message that you want out there, though?
I mean, I think it's important to
Is that
see
what you want people to take away from this interaction?
that she had all the information necessary, all the prerequisite information she had necessary to make like a good choice, and she like did the dumbest thing possible, and now like her response to that is like, oh, I guess like I have to treat all men as rapists. That's like an insane takeaway from her point of view.
It's insane, but she's also venting and in probably an awful state of mind.
I don't care. You're venting in a public platform where other people are listening to you. If I was like digging through like DMs and shit to like shit on her, that would be one thing. But she's doing all this publicly. So if it's in the public forum, then it's there for public commentary.
I think you can do this. I don't think you ought to do this as a person that holds themselves to a higher standard.
So then do I never comment on anything ever relating to like somebody who is a victim of something if they've done like really dumb shit? Is that just like completely off limits because other people might be being mean to them online?
No, I think you can include most of the tweets that you did. You just exclude the last one.
Oh, so your only issue is that I called her an idiot in the last tweet.
I think it changes the narrative of what your takeaway from the story was.
Okay, I'll think about it next time, okay?
Yeah, be careful, buddy. Merry Christmas.
I'll help you be careful, babe. It's Merry Christmas Eve, actually, okay?
Can they wish you a preemptive Merry Christmas?
Okay, preemptive Merry Christmas. Destiny wonders why he has so few female fans. I don't wonder that. I'll never change my advice or the way that I deal with like some of these rape stories. There are women that make horrible fucking decisions, and I will talk about that. I would rather have like the few women that listen to me maybe like take some of the things I say to heart than like try to appease a whole bunch of like yes queening like dipshit fucks that are just like walking women into rape machines like you do. I'm good on that. If there's like two women that listen to my shit and they're like meeting a guy for the first time on a Tinder, he's like, hey, I can give you a ride. And they're like, you know what? Destiny said that if you're meeting a stranger for the first time, you should Uber. Don't let him pick you up. Okay, I'll do that. I'm okay with that. Rather than the like, no, queen, everything you do is perfect and valid and beautiful and nothing you do is wrong. And if anybody does anything bad to you, it's their fault and there's nothing you can do, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, okay. You're going to get clipped and put on Twitter again? Good. Oh!